strictly the numbers, but our interest is the questions like how, why, what. Okay, for example, what is the effect of less sleep on the mood? Okay. Now, in qualitative research, today we'll see the research approaches, qualitative research approaches that we will see. Okay. So there are 5 research approaches that we'll discuss
नेहा मैं
today.
मीटिंग ज्वाइन कर लूं? हाँ हो गई.
Okay. We'll have a total of 5 approaches for this, what is called as qualitative research approach. First is grounded theory. In the grounded theory, as meaning, it is a grounded theory means what? We create the basic theory. Okay. So we create a rich data on a topic of interest, and what we do, we develop the theory. So that is a grounded theory approach in the qualitative research. So here the purpose is to create the theory. Okay. So that is what it is called as grounded theory approach in qualitative research. Okay. So what it does, it explains how social processes, action, or interaction. So it explains about what? Social processes, social actions, and social interaction. So this is a ground theory that we construct. Okay, so these are the we can say theories we develop based on the data. Okay, so that theory may explain the social process. It may explain the action, social interaction. Okay, so here, so theory is grounded from the data. Grounded theory. Okay, so theory is grounded or constructed from data of participants who have experienced the phenomenon under the study. So how we construct the theory here based on the data. Data is what? The experience of the people, participants. So we ask the participant, conduct the interview, and based on that, we construct the theory. Okay. So the participants have the experience of what? Participants have the experience of our phenomenon, which is under our study. Okay. So here, as it is mostly basically from the what is called as qualitative research domain. In qualitative research domain, the data is collected from the interviews, observation, or documentary data. So basically they use interviews as a first option, but they can also use observation or documentary data for creating this theory. Okay. So basically it may be the what is called as the interview. So we conduct the interview of the participants. Okay. Now, so we'll move to the next page. Okay. So when we go for grounded theory construction, what we here do is we need to construct the theory. So it is just not information. So we have to be very careful about selecting the participant in our survey or interviews. Okay, so we need to take care that appropriate participant. We need to select participant need to be having the background. Non-serious participants should be avoided. Okay. So as we construct the theory based on the interviews of participant, as we construct it, how we construct it, first we collect the data, analyze the data, and during this process also try to search uh, good participant for the next responses. Okay. So here I can give one example for a grounded theory. That is the effect of poverty on the health. Effect of, so you have to study the various people and see that we have to create the theory there. What are the effect of poverty on the health? Okay, this is the first approach we saw. Okay, now we'll move to the next approach. It is called as phenomenological research. So your attention is only the phenomenon here. Okay, like in earlier grounded theory, our purpose was to create the theory about the process, interaction. But in phenomenological research, our interest is only phenomenon. How particular phenomenon is there. And we take the perception of that phenomenon from different participants. Okay. So they describe the phenomenon from their perspective. Okay. So we take the experiences, individual experiences about the phenomenon. They describe particular phenomenon. Okay. And from that, we create, build, we can say, universal meaning of individuals. Okay. So, like when you go for taking the leave, okay, what is your feelings? Okay, so that is also called a phenomenon particular. Okay, so what is your feeling? So we can ask different participant. They may have different meanings for that phenomenon. Okay, taking the leave. So from that responses, we have to create what is called as universal meaning for that particular phenomenon. So this is a phenomenological research. Okay, so we want to uncover description of essence of that phenomenon. What is our aim here is to uncover. So uncover what we have to uncover the description of essence of particular phenomenon. What is the essence of a particular phenomenon that we have to discover from the taking interviews of different people That is the phenomenological research. Okay, that is the phenomenological research. Now, phenomenological research uses particular criteria sampling in which participant meet predefined criteria. Okay, so what is the criteria actually? So criteria is that they have undergone that phenomenon. Okay, they have experienced that phenomenon. So this criteria we have to take. Okay, what is the criteria that we have to be considered is that the participant who is participating in this interviews is undergone that phenomenon. Okay, so we are not to select the person who is not having the experience of that particular phenomenon. So we have to only select the related one. Okay, in the phenomenological research. Okay. Okay. So we look for participant who have experienced the phenomenon, and then we see how the phenomenon is very, or what extent it is varying with the participant. Okay. So we'll see one example for this phenomenological research. Okay. So our one paper or book has given one example phenomenological research. Here we want to take the experience shared by the pregnant woman about the psychological support received from the nurse. So we'll ask various participants. So like I already mentioned here in phenomenological research, there will be criteria for participant. Okay. So here criteria is the experience shared by the pregnant woman upon the psychological support received from the nurse. Okay. So here criteria is very fixed. It is a pregnant woman. She was in the hospital. And what was her experience, psychological support received from the nurse. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, we given the criteria that we have to put the criteria for selecting the participant. So the participant should be the pregnant woman, and that to be in the what is called as the hospital. Okay. So this is the phenomenological research. Now we'll go to the next approach, that is ethnography. So in ethnography, basically the researcher stays or observes for a long period the behavior of the community or over the long period. Okay, so that's what it is called as ethnography. So here purpose is to examine shared patterns of behavior, beliefs, language within a cultural group, and to do this requires extended times of observation. So basically, in this research, the researcher stays in the group, or we can say community, to observe their behavior, beliefs, language pattern, their interaction with each other. Okay, so all this purpose, so observer has to observe for extended period, long period, we can say. And observer many times stay inside that group, community. Okay, so that is called as ethnography. The main strategy is purposive sampling of variety of key informants who are most knowledgeable about the culture and are able to willing to representative uh, in revealing and interpreting the culture. Okay. So we have to, when we go in community, we have to identify the person can say knowledgeable or who can share the information and represent their group. Okay. And we can who can give us different types of information, interpretation of the culture. Okay. So this is about the ethnography. Like you may be interested to know the culture of tribal of Assam. So in that case, you need to stay there in the group and also identify the person who can talk, because only observing will not give the interpretation to you. So also we need some good person from the group who can describe, explain, reveal the culture of particular uh, group. Okay. So in short, we can say that researcher himself or herself immerse in the group of the people to understand their culture. But even in the group, he has to identify one or two persons who can communicate, understanding, and explain the different features of the group. Okay. Now we'll go for next qualitative approach that is called as narrative research. So narrative research is here a researcher examines how the stories are told to understand about participant perceive and make the sense of their experience. Okay. So here researchers examine how the stories are told to understand how the participant perceive and make the sense of their experience. So it is about the narration, about the experiences. Then comes next approach about qualitative research, that is about the actions research. In the action research, researchers and participants, they work together, they link theory to the practice and drive the social changes. So it is a action research, we can say. Okay, so there will be we apply the theory to the practice, means we implement the theory and see what is the effect of the action. So that will be the action research. So these are the references for this what is called as uh, qualitative research. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I can stop here. Do you have any question? Yes. Do you have any question about this? So we saw the different approaches today for qualitative research. So we started with the grounded research. So we collect a lot of data and build the theory that is called as grounded theory. Then comes phenomenological research here. What we do, we ask about the phenomenon perception or the experience of different people, and then find the essence of that. Okay. Then comes phenomenal research experienced by the pregnant woman about the psychological support received by the nurse. So then comes ethnography. Ethnography is basically going and living in the stay in the group about which you want to learn, about the group you want to learn, its behavior, its beliefs, its language, interaction. So that is called as ethnography. And in narration, narrative research, how the participant uh, stories, they tell stories to understand the participants' uh, behavior and their experience. Then comes action research. In the action research, basically, we link theory to practice and then implement and see what is the effect of the action. These are the different approaches in the what is called as qualitative research. Thank you. We'll stop here.